Hello, ladies and gents. Yes, I am back. It has been a while, but the holidays can be quite busy. Anyway, you don't care about my personal life. Let's talk about random stuff you can do in Pokemon, because you have nothing better to do with your life. In the last video, I decided to see if I can defeat Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal only using Mewtwo that knows Struggle. If you wish to check out that video, I'll leave a link for it in the description below. Anyway, it was a long, tough journey, but eventually I did make it to Red. And spoilers, in 3, 2, 1, I won! Barely, mind you. I had to actually max out my Mewtwo's Eevees in order to beat him, but at the end of the day, a win's a win. But that did get me thinking, what other Pokemon can defeat Red by only using Struggle? To make things interesting, I decided to lay out a few ground rules. The first one is, no items in battle. Well, besides held. In my Mewtwo run, I decided to opt out using items entirely, even held, because, well, Mewtwo has the highest base stat total in the entire game. The last thing Mewtwo needs is a handicap. But since I'm using weaker Pokemon, much weaker, like the weakest of the weak, I'm gonna allow the use of held items, like leftovers, etc, etc. Now I will admit, I will be cheating here a little bit. There are two things I'm gonna do. One, hack it so the only move my Pokemon can use are Struggle, and two, to give the weakest of the weak the best possible chance of winning, max out their stats. Don't worry, these are the only two times I'm going to be cheating. That and to catch whatever Pokemon I might need for this test. Okay, so 3 is the cheatings. I lied. I'm sorry, okay? I promise you, that is it. Okay, let's just get this started before I start digging my own grave here. The first Pokemon I decided to use was Sunkern. I figured, you know what? If I'm gonna do this challenge, might as well start from the bottom of the barrel. Sunkern thankfully does have the type advantage over Pikachu, who isn't really an issue, unless Pikachu decides to use Charm and lower my attack, which is a huge problem and will be a running theme throughout this video. Even though Struggle can hit Ghost types in this generation, Struggle is still classified under a normal type move. And in this generation, all normal type moves are physical. Anything from Double Edge to Hyper Beam, all use a physical stat. So, Charm lowering my attack by 2 stages is not a good thing, to put it mildly. And in any battle, if I get charmed, it's GG. As any competitive Pokemon player will tell you, Pikachu is not a wall. His defenses are paper thin, which normally isn't an issue, until Red decides to pop in a full restore. And in this battle, I need all the HP I can muster, as you can imagine. Even holding leftovers, which does restore some of my HP, it's not enough to get me back up to full health. I'll always suffer more Struggle recoil damage than I can recover, even if Red doesn't attack me that turn. Throughout my many battles with Red, I have learned that he'll only use a full restore on Pikachu. So if I can get past that, I am golden. And with a little bit of luck, I managed to get past his Pikachu and move right on to Venusaur. Thankfully for me, our Master Trainer isn't exactly the brightest one. The only attack move he gave his Venusaur is Solar Beam. You know, you would think you would have given him a poison type move as well, but you know what? For this challenge, I'm not complaining. I thought this would be an easy knockout, until it used Synthesis. And if it uses Synthesis, you guessed it, I cannot win. I just do not have the HP to deal with it. Since there's no strategy in this battle, really, all I'm doing is pressing A over and over again, and pray Struggle gives me a critical hit, which is exactly how I need to win this battle. I need to pray that RNG is on my side and gives me quite a few critical hits. Otherwise, I will not be able to take down his Venusaur, and also pray that he doesn't use Synthesis. Eventually, the cards do work in my favor and I am able to take down his Venusaur. And then, he sends out Charizard. And with that, Sunkern's challenge is over. There is absolutely zero chance of Sunkern getting past Charizard. By this point in the battle, my HP is down to its bare bones. I cannot take a hit from Charizard, no matter what it decides to dish out. Flamethrower, Wing Attack, it will knock me out in one go. And even if by some chance I was at full health facing this Charizard, I would still lose. Struggle cannot take out Charizard in one hit, even if I do land a critical. On the other hand, if Charizard hits a flamethrower on me, it will take me out in one go. It doesn't even need to crit. So unfortunately, this is where Sunkern's challenge ends. But with that, a new challenger stands up to the field. At first, I thought about using either Caterpie or Weedle, as going from the weakest to the strongest, they were the next ones up to bat. But the defenses aren't that much greater than that of Sunkern's. And with Charizard taking out Sunkern in one hit, I think it might be best to avoid any Pokemon that are weak to Charizard. While Charizard isn't exactly a tank, it does have a reasonable special stat. Then I thought about Magikarp. Then I faced his Pikachu and decided very quickly that this was not going to work. Even by some miracle I get past Pikachu, by that I mean Thunder misses me every single time, I will lose straight out to Venusaur. But that got me thinking. I need someone who is not weak to any Pokemon on Red's team. So, going from the weakest to the strongest, ironically, the next one up to bat is Pikachu. Thankfully, Red, being a Pokemon master, decided not to teach any of his Pokemon Earthquake, which any competitive Pokemon player will tell you that is a staple. At least one Pokemon should know Earthquake. No one told Red this, but then again, I don't think he expected to come against a trainer who only teaches Pokemon Struggle. So now we got a level 100 Pikachu that only knows Struggle versus Red Pikachu, level 81 who knows, well, 4 reasonable moves. One of those being Charm. Why is Pikachu so charming? The absolute bane of my existence. So, reset. If I can get past Charm, I am golden. It's especially important this time because the next Pokemon he sends out is Espeon, who 9 times out of 10 will use Reflect. So if my attack is lowered, and then he raises his entire team's defense, I am not penetrating anything. So now I gotta hope for 2 things. I gotta hope that A, Espeon doesn't use Reflect, and B, Psychic doesn't lower my special defense, because God knows the last thing Pikachu needs is less defense. It does take quite a few attempts, but I am eventually able to get past Espeon. And then comes out Snorlax, and yep, Pikachu's done. There's no way Pikachu can get past Snorlax. Pikachu is so frail, and in most cases, Reflect is still up. And if I'm lucky, I might have full attack. But between Snorlax's immense bulk and my pathetic attack stat, because let's be honest, Pikachu really isn't that strong, I am not getting past Snorlax. Now I'm sure some of you are asking, what if Pikachu uses the Light Ball? Well, in this generation, that only raises Pikachu's special attack. After Gen 4, it's both attack and special attack, but in this generation, the attack stat is not touched. So that is not going to work. Sorry, Pikachu. Maybe the mascot, but you're not getting past this. Speaking of mascots, though, let's move on to our next contender, the mascot of Let's Go Eevee, Eevee. And unlike the previous 2 contenders, Eevee actually does have a fair amount of bulk behind it. Well, for a first stage Pokemon anyway. And as the old story goes, as long as I can avoid Charm, I can get past Pikachu. Then comes out its big brother, Espeon. Reflect is still an issue, and then I have to worry about Psychic. It does take me a couple of tries, but I am eventually able to get past Espeon. I was feeling pretty confident now. Eevee still had a reasonable amount of HP left coming up against Snorlax. I felt pretty confident Eevee could take it out. Assuming I don't get paralyzed by Body Slam or it doesn't decide to rest up, which does happen a lot. And even if I do get its HP low, I still run the risk of it using Rest. And the Snorlax knows Snore. Thank God it's not Sleep Talk. Sleep Talk would have actually been worse. To get past Snorlax, I need to get a critical hit at just the right time. Too soon, it'll use Rest Up and I'll have to do it all over again. Too late, and it'll just take me out with Body Slam. After many attempts, I eventually get that lucky critical hit and take out his Snorlax and move right on to his Venusaur. Like I mentioned before, for some reason, the only attack move it knows is Solar Beam. It might occasionally use Sunny Day to cut down its charging turn, but that's very rare. The point is, Venusaur isn't really a problem. And then Charizard comes in and takes me on in one hit. I'm beginning to sense a theme here, and unfortunately, we've hit yet another dead end. Eevee cannot get past Charizard. Every time I get to Charizard, I usually float around between 60 to 80 HP. And no matter what I do, it will always take me out in one hit. With Eevee managing to take out 4 Pokemon, I thought normal types might be the way to go. The next Pokemon I thought might be able to take out Red's team is Ambipom. I give you the play-by-play, but I'd pretty much be saying the same thing here as I did with Eevee. I get up to Charizard, and it takes me out in one hit. After Ambipom, I tried Lickitung, and it was almost the same story. Instead of Charizard taking me out in one hit, this time it took a whopping 2 hits to finish me off. But it's the same story, I just can't get past this Charizard. For a while, I kept running into Pokemon that were weak against Red's team, where I was almost guaranteed that I would not be able to make it through the battle, that I'd be one-shotted and that would be GG. Then I came across Dragonair. Yep, we're moving right on to the second stage Pokemon, folks. And Dragonair, thankfully, had nothing that was directly weak to Red's team, so I thought, you know, I'll try you. Yeah, let's give it a whirl. At a base stat of 420, we have Dragonair. Funnily enough, Dragonair could actually take down Pikachu in one hit, without a critical. Now before, this was kind of a bad thing actually. For example, I forgot to mention earlier, but Eevee can actually take out Pikachu in one hit with struggle if it lands a critical. But preferably I did not want that to happen. Because if I land a critical hit, I actually won't recover as much damage as I would if I were just to take him out in 2 shots. If Eevee hits him and it's not a critical, usually it's just out of the range where Red would pop a full restore. Thus, I would gain a little bit more health back from leftovers. With Dragonair on the other hand, it would always put Pikachu in the red with a chance of knocking out in one hit. I want to be knocked out in one hit, or else he'll just pop a full restore and I will lose even more health. So hey, we're off to a decent start. And then he sends out Blastoise. And I thought to myself, oh my god, it knows Blizzard. I was slightly relieved at first when it uses Rain Dance, which is a weird setup move because Blizzard is only 100% accuracy in Hail, but Hail's not a thing in this generation. So, you know, I thought maybe it doesn't have Blizzard. I couldn't remember what his moveset was, and lo and behold, it knows Blizzard. Yeah, while I actually will survive a hit from Blizzard, I really cannot afford to get hit by it. It will still take a good chunk out of me if I get hit, but it's a 2 or 3 hit KO. If Blizzard doesn't hit me, I am golden. Next up, he sends out Espeon, and it's pretty much the same thing as it was before. I gotta take it out and pray it doesn't use Reflect, or else I'm not gonna be able to take out the rest of his team. I would rather be hit by Psychic than have Espeon set up Reflect. As long as there's a lot more special defense, that is. Espeon usually goes down after 2 struggles. Next up is Snorlax, which is a bit of a pain to be honest. A lot of the same issues arise as before. You know, resting, body slamming me and paralyzing me, snore, amnesia, all that good stuff. Snorlax is just one huge pain. And at this point I realize a few things have to happen for me to stand a chance against defeating Red. Firstly, I have to take out Pikachu in one hit. Secondly, I gotta take out Blastoise before it can hit me with Blizzard. I gotta take out Espeon ASAP, preferably get a crit, which will take down in one shot, but that's usually unlikely. I would rather get hit by Psychic than set up Reflect. As long as Reflect isn't up, I have a good chance taking out Snorlax, so long as it doesn't paralyze me, and I get a very crucial critical hit before it uses Rest. Eventually, that does happen, and had to take out Snorlax and move right onto Venusaur. As said before, for some reason, the only attack move Red gave its Venusaur is Solar Beam, which is not very effective against Dragonair. So Venusaur goes down rather easily, but not before getting my HP dangerously low. Then comes out my good friend, Charizard. But instead of using Flamethrower to finish me off, Charizard finished me off with 2 wing attacks. And I couldn't help but dread and despair yet again. I just can't seem to get past this Charizard. But I wasn't ready to give up yet. Wing attack does very little damage. If I can walk in this battle with just a little bit more HP, possibly take out Venusaur before it uses Synthesis, I might have a chance. Eventually, things were working out really well for me. I landed quite a few lucky critical hits, managed to take down Venusaur before it used Synthesis, Snorlax before it can use Rest and all that other fun stuff, and got through Charizard with about 100 HP remaining. For a Stage 2 Pokemon, Dragonair is actually reasonably bulky, so it can take quite a few hits. Wing Attack was only doing about 30 damage to Dragonair, and Struggle would be about 3-hit KO. I knew it was going to be really close, but I had a chance taking it out. It took quite a few tries, but eventually, I did just that. With just a shred of HP left, I finally take down Red's Charizard and win my little challenge. So through my countless hours that I put into this game trying to defeat Red by only using the move Struggle, the weakest Pokemon that I have determined that can actually beat Red, only using said move, as long as it has leftovers, is Dragonair. But even at that, things have to go a very specific way. One little misstep, and Dragonair's a goner. If I didn't have leftovers, I doubt Dragonair would be able to do it. Anyway, that's what I came up with, but if you want to try this challenge, I don't know why you want to put yourself through that, I only did because I'm crazy, then by all means, do it. And if you do manage to do someone that's actually weaker than Dragonair, let me know down in the comments or post a video response about it. I'll definitely check it out. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and as always, if you enjoy this content, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And with all that being said, I will see you all hopefully a lot sooner than I did before. Take care. Bye.